Everyone has a bike now.
Really?
Eric has a bike. This guy has a bike. This guy just got a bike. He has
a
a bike.
police bike.
And he just bought one. He's gonna pick it up tomorrow.
Yeah. I can put a battery in the back and turn on the siren.
No.
Next time I fall, dude.
They'll be like, "Oh, there's a police
So
guy."
I need to get a mountain bike.
Like, oh, we're good.
I need to get a mountain bike now. So.
Oh, dude, I don't know if I told you guys, but when I went to the dentist like 2 days ago, and some lady was like, "Mijo, ¿qué te pasó?" Like, she saw all my stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I fell." She was like, "Wow," and I explained it to her. She was like, "Where was this?" I was like, "The estuary." I was like, "No way, I heard about that." I was like, "What?" She was like, "Oh, there were some people. My husband's like close friends live there in like houses right there." And they were like, "Yeah, some kid fell."
How did they know?
I was like, "Well, they said that the ambulance came. Like, and they heard like the sirens and all that stuff." That's, you know what I mean? So she said like, "Oh, I heard about that. When was this?" And she was like, "Was this on Sunday?" I was like, "Yes."
Are you Armando Perez?
Are you this?
It was you.
Well, I'm guessing that kind of stuff like never happens there. So
Wait.
Like,
I think you should tell this.
They probably heard my cries for help.
oh yeah. Well, I guess I don't remember.
Jonathan?
Okay, so I have injuries, and I may not be quite all there
Coherent.
this episode. But anyways, next segment. We were riding bikes. I was riding a Diamondback Outlook.
Oh.
Great bike. Terrible rider. And we were riding in the estuary, in the Tijuana estuary. Tijuana. I feel like the estuary. You gotta say Tijuana because nobody. You know what I mean?
The Tijuana.
But anyways,
Tijuana.
careful.
The Tijuana.
Okay, so I'm a little banged up, and I may not be all there. Just because this last weekend I was in the hospital, got into a little accident on my Diamondback Outlook.
Why do you feel like you're sponsored by
My Diamondback 2010 Outlook.
dual suspension.
Yeah, actually
26-inch
no
tires.
suspension. That's probably why I fell. But I guess we were going pretty fast. I was following this guy down into the estuary, got caught in a sand trap, and flipped over. And I guess I landed on my head. And I don't really remember anything after that.
We were not wearing helmets.
I was not wearing a
Oh,
helmet.
you weren't either?
We
If
weren't.
I was wearing a
I
helmet,
wasn't either.
nothing would have happened.
Yes.
Why did you-
I told Jonathan. I was like,
here.
hey,
Bro.
you should always wear a helmet.
Wait, why didn't you
'cause
have yours?
You never know
Huh?
when you're
Why
gonna.
didn't you have yours?
Because he was gonna. We're gonna do the Tijuana estuary ride. That's like.
But you wore it when we went.
That's like.
That's like what?
It was that attitude that I had too that like caused me.
I did Tijuana estuary with my eyes closed. Like,
No,
but
I wear it.
how are you gonna blame
I wear
me for
on-
this? He fucking came with me. Are you guys looking at me like it was my fault?
Jonathan.
I didn't fall. I made the cross.
It's not my fault.
This man saved my life.
You
Okay.
convinced him to not wear a
He
helmet.
messaged me. He was like, "Let's go riding." And I was like, "All right."
There's no need. There's no need.
If it wasn't for
Finger
this
pointing
man,
gets us
I
nowhere.
wouldn't be alive right now. dude.
Okay, so what happened after you
I just fell.
Oh, you
and-
tell Jonathan. 'cause
Yeah.
you were.
He doesn't want to remember. Okay.
PTSD.
You're like, help, call 911.
Oh, you went to PTSD college? Hey, no, I'm
So we went.
I'm very sensitive. I'm sorry.
So we went down we went through the road, like where we through my house, and then down the street, and we did the winding roads.
Okay.
By the Tijuana estuary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Going
Oh, is that
towards
like where
Las
we, is that
Americas.
like where we
Yeah,
come
I know.
back from the hill?
No, do you remember? Yeah, but do you remember
The first time?
the first time we ever rode? I took
Made
you
a
on
left.
that. We made a left, and you go through the road, you do a little uphill, then down, and then you go across the bridge. And I told you like, oh, there's an aviation club here.
Yeah.
And then they go through. Then you enter, like this parking lot-ish road
Mhm.
that leads to the Tijuana estuary.
Okay.
So we were doing we were riding, just talking, riding, going through, and then we went on a little downhill. It's not fast.
Yeah.
I don't know about this guy. Dude. I was going pretty fast.
Rico came with me.
On the first day, I was like, yeah, it's kind of, it reminds me of like the hill by my house. You know, it's not that bad.
The little.
It's just like a dip.
But it's very short.
Yeah.
It's not long. So this is what happened.
But I mean that goes
But
to
probably
show.
because his bike had no suspension, so it was like
Anyway,
No suspension?
keep going. Yeah.
nothing.
It's a Diamondback outlook.
It's the one that was outside, but the one in there.
So what happened was I rode down first. Passed it. Looked back, see a giant dust cloud. I'm like, okay, he fell. For sure, he fell.
Uh-huh.
But seeing a lot of dust makes me a little more comfortable. I was like, oh, there's a lot of sand.
Oh.
So soften the blow if he fell on his shoulder, whatever. However he fell, if he rolled, like, he should be okay. So, it's Oscar. So I look back and I see a dust cloud and I'm like turning back, see the bike on the floor and I see his legs only because I have to do the round corner because there's a bunch of things. Of bushes. I see legs moving.
Hey.
Yo. I see his legs moving like this, like twitching. Yeah.
Oh, that's scary.
So I saw the legs moving and I thought for 1 second, I was like, one, he's getting up. Then the next like 0.5 seconds, I'm like, wait, no, he's not. He's like joking. And the next like second after that, I was like, this guy isn't joking. So I fucking like jumped off my bike. I ran. I saw his face and I saw like his body still moving and he was drooling. So I was just like already like everything was just like, oh God, like what the fuck? He hit his head. I don't know what happened. Like I've never seen. It's a thing that you would never see. Like you're one of your friends doing that. Like you wouldn't hope that your friend does that or
Or
looks
your
like
worst enemy.
yeah, even anyone. Like you don't want to see anyone in that position. So I saw him and then I've heard before and other stuff. Maybe it's wrong now. Maybe they learn different, but I didn't know that people will like choke on their tongue sometimes and stuff like that. So I try to grab his tongue just to hold it, I guess, because I've heard soccer people do that.
You can also put him on the side.
I had him on his side too.
Oh, okay.
So he was,
Wait,
that's,
what do you... Oh.
so the whole time I had him on his side, I was like grabbing him to put him on his side because he was
camera look?
trying to lean back. So I just had him on his side and then I grabbed his tongue and then he bit my finger off. No, I'm just kidding.
Is he-
Skin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he just
Is
like,
he
he was
cut
just
off?
biting me and I was just like holding his tongue either way.
Well,
Well,
he couldn't speak.
he couldn't do anything. He couldn't react. He was on the floor convulsing.
Unconscious or like convulsing.
One eye open, bloodshot red, the other one closed. He was just like twitching on the floor.
Wow.
So I ran. I was on my knees, like pulling him, holding his, and making sure he drooled. Then he rolled on his side. He like forced me to let him go, and I had to like push. I like pushed him down, and then I just got on top of him, like my knee on his shoulder. That way he wouldn't turn. And I was trying to call 911, and then they were just saying like, "Oh, where are you?" And in that moment, I was like, "I don't know the street here. I don't know what street this is."
Yeah.
And then I was just like, "I don't know. Just like track my
Scoot
phone."
over a bit, Rico.
Because I thought they could do that.
They can't?
I guess not.
If they can, that's stupid.
He couldn't. I was telling him like, I was like, just track where I'm at. Like I'm trying to hold this guy. And he was like, just don't move him. Like, where are you at? And then I like finally just went on maps and my phone was being super weird. But I looked at the road. I was like, it's Dairy Mart Road. And then by that time I was holding them,
It's like,
holding him.
oh,
He was still going. And then I heard the ambulance and I was like, oh, just run onto the road. And I like ran like up the hill, but I put my backpack and everything behind his head. That way he wouldn't turn.
Yeah.
Or like on his neck. And by the time they came, they like passed me and I had to like tell them like turn back.
Oh my god.
And they turned back and then I just ran back down to him, like holding him. And then they came, they looked at him, like Armando. And by that time he had stopped convulsing. He had stopped, like he was kind of just laying there. And then his eye was still open. So I think he was aware of things, but not able to do anything.
Like in
I
your
don't remember anything.
subconscious.
That's a lot more serious than I thought.
Yes, that's
I had no
why.
idea.
Yeah, I thought
That's
it
why
was
they
like,
kept me in the
Okay,
hospital.
so
I thought,
he just fell and hit his head?
yeah,
No. So that was happening.
that was not what I was expecting.
Okay.
It has a concussion.
Sorry for bringing it up.
And non-epileptic something, right?
Well, what I read about, you know more than this, that because if like epilepsy is missing from the brain or something, that you get a concussive convulsion, which I believe that's what it was. Because he does have a concussion. It's quite clear like that. All that happened. So they got there, checked his like eyes and everything, and then he was like fine. But they tried to grab him and stuff like, "Are you okay?" And he like started to like he got up, he stood up, and he was like get off of me to all the guys.
Yeah, it's scary.
And then they were trying to get him on the gurney, and then I told him like, "Hey, Armando, sit down." And he like just looked at me,
an extra extension.
and he just sat down.
Mhm.
And then he just laid down. They strapped him to everything because he was fighting them.
Yeah.
So that was like
I
crazy.
swear there was another one. You want to grab
I had to call. I called Eric because they left his bike. He left his bike there.
Yeah.
So Eric picked up the bike. I had to tell Eric. I called his girlfriend.
You went?
He called his mom.
You went on the ambulance with him?
No, you can't because of COVID.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
Found it.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then like I still rode my bike home.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't. There's no other way to get home because can't hear myself. Oh, because Eric took it. Eric took it, and then like 20 minutes later, I showered and everything. I told my mom, I was like, "Oh yeah, like don't say anything right now," because I just didn't want to hear anything. Like literally, what I saw was like insane to me.
Yeah.
Like to this day, I do still like just like it'll pop up, the image. So that's why I
It's
say I
called,
actually have PTSD.
Dude, that's like the worst feeling ever.
Yeah. So
I can't believe you brought it up, Andres.
I did not
So
think it was this serious.
how bad it was. Yeah. So then
Yeah, that
maybe
was-
20 minutes later, 25 minutes later. So all of that from when he fell to the ambulance getting there was maybe 12 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
The longest 12 minutes was
Yeah.
Yeah. So then after that,
Pretty fast though.
Uh-huh.
it's fast. It's yeah.
that. There's an ambulance
But it
thing
probably
right here.
Felt like forever.
Yeah. I was just like, where the fuck are you guys? Sorry. But then 25, 30 minutes later, I see his name pop up online, like on Messenger, and I'm like,
What?
no way. And then I was like, Armando? And he was like, what's up? And I was like,
He literally put, "I'm good."
Yeah. I was like, yo, I'm good.
Yeah.
So they cut off my clothes
Yeah.
and they like cut. I was like, I could have just taken it off.
Oh, they do that.
They literally put it in a bag. I still have it in my closet, but they cut off my clothes and
They caught up everything.
Always
cut off
wear a
everything.
helmet.
And then the lady had like a wet towel and she was like wiping me, and I would like wake. I would have come to and like, like, hey,
like
stop.
the World War II veteran. They're
It's just
standing
they,
here.
want to make sure you don't have any internal bleeding.
It's so weird. Like they like inspect like full body inspection.
So after like 25 minutes, I checked my phone. I messaged him, and I was just like, "Oh, thank God, this guy's okay." But he, throughout the past 3-4 days, I have been texting him like, "Yo, are you okay?" All this stuff, and I've been telling him to get a second opinion because
My main doctor.
to him maybe I was telling Eric, my friend, I was like, I think he's probably like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like maybe my head hurts a little bit,
Mhm.
but to me it's like you didn't see
It's not
how
what I
you
said.
were.
Yeah.
No, you didn't say that.
No.
No, but I'm just saying, like, to me, you seem like you're like okay, like I'm fine, ish, like I'm good. But to me, it's like you didn't see yourself on the floor and how you were. Yeah,
No, I didn't. I just went to UCSD
Trauma
Hillcrest, and Oscar's thing isn't on. Can you?
Oh, it's mine.
So we're gonna move on to the second segment. After the-
yeah. But this will obviously go.
check. Yeah. Turn him up a little bit.
That was
on
nice.
that.
Turn me.
It's also robotic.
Yeah,
I
there.
think he's the second one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Keep
talking
talking
about
scary stuff.
It was crazy. That's
Yeah.
why it was just me and him too. So that's why I was like, I had no one to like call
check.
911 in the
Uh-huh.
meantime or do anything. Or like, oh, do this. And I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
I've never done first aid. And I was going to do a first aid class like a week before the pandemic started at work. So I regret not taking it. But
Yeah.
I was like ready. Like, I don't know exactly how to do CPR. I've seen it. I've like,
You
gone
know-
through it. But if this guy like stops breathing or anything, then I'm going to have to do something.
You know, I think it's important for everyone to know how to do CPR.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like one of those skills that
Or the
can
Heimlich.
just like save.
Should have Googled it.
Alive.
Dude.
Yeah. Hold on,
You
Armando.
can just Google it.
While
not
he was
that
on the
hard.
floor, I should have been like, hold on.
How do you save a
Mac-
Hold on, Armando.
Mackie.
I was just yelling too.
Crazy. Really?
I was yelling like help, and I was like grabbing him, trying to like
Talk a bit louder.
trying to
hello,
like
hello.
No, like no test. Just talk louder in general.
You know, I tend to just lower
Yeah,
my
whisper.
voice as
I
I like if I'm
Finish?
telling the story, like as I progresses, I just go. I talk like this,
Don't do that.
just for the purpose of
Keep
like
your
storytelling.
volume.
You know,
Yeah.
the
But-
volume just goes down, but then when
to
you
bring
least
us down.
expect it, I go talk really loud.
But yeah, I mean that. Yeah.
it's
As
crazy.
soon as I went in the hospital and they woke up, I was like, "So when can I leave?"
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, you have to stay the night," and I was like, "All
You-
right."
You have to say that.
Well, that's what they told me. And
Wow.
I remember asking, like, first of all, like, I had like maybe 7 different nurses through my entire stay for some reason. I have no idea why. But literally every time I'd wake up, it'd be like a different person.
7 different.
And then I would ask, like, so do I have to stay, like, legally? And they were like, no, not legally, but we recommend it. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I'll stay. You got it. But they were just like, Yeah, they had like a physical therapist. She was cool. She would just like walk me around. Like she was like, "Oh, we're gonna get up and go around." I was like, okay. And then I had
go mountain biking.
A child's.
I had a therapist.
She
like
brings him a mountain bike.
substance abuse lady. Got called and she was like, "So were you on anything? Like, were you drinking when you had your crash?" I was like, "No, I'm just dumb."
The EMT asked me that. He
Yeah,
grabbed his
like-
water bottle. He's like, "Is this alcohol?"
Yeah,
I'm like, "No, we're biking. It's water."
Sure.
And-
And it was so weird because the lady, like, she was like, okay, so she was explaining why she was there, and she's like, so normally I get called when we find something in your bloodstream or something like that. And I was like, she was like, so were you on anything? And I was like, no, you know what I mean? She almost made it seem like, well, why am I here? Is there something you're not telling me? And I was like, no, like somebody made a mistake. Like, what do you want from me? It was so weird. It was super awkward. I was like, no.
Yeah, I wonder why. Oh, well, something that I thought of too was so the reason we went biking, not the reason, but we went biking to pick up also pills for me. Like Tylenol pills or ibuprofen pills for my back.
Uh-huh.
I have a herniated disc basically.
Uh-huh.
So I had the pill thing
Oh, and they saw
in
it?
my backpack and he's like, "Is this his?" I was like, "Oh no, those are mine." So maybe that's another
Right.
thing too.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, we
yeah.
took like 10 pills. We were mountain biking, drinking alcohol for hydration. Oh,
It's
feels
just
tired.
weird. It's just
Yeah,
strange.
it was just crazy.
Uh-huh.
The important question here
Sounds
is:
crazy.
did they bill you for that?
I haven't had my bill yet, but I have
Dude.
insurance, so I'm probably
Yeah.
gonna spend a few hundred.
Man,
Not bad.
yeah, that's actually not.
I mean,
not bad.
who cares?
Yeah.
As long as you're alive and well.
I mean,
Pay
what's
a
the point of
million.
being alive if you
Oh money.
like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt?
Yeah, I was kind of like,
Are you really alive? If you just have to, you don't have
You're
money
an
to pay?
indentured servant to the hospital for the rest of your life. They're like, okay, you can work for us to help pay.
forever. But,
Why don't they have that? That should be a thing.
You can wash
Indentured
dishes.
servitude.
Go work for the hospital to pay off your debt.
You wash dishes at the hospital.
You come in and talk to people about substance abuse. And all right. Well, that's what happened.